Hello and welcome to another edition of your guide to the maritime sector, Nimasa this week. The wet season is here and we have started experiencing heavy downpour in most parts of Nigeria and the water levels are rising. Let's be more safety conscious when we have to commute via the waterways. I remain your uncle, Moyioluwa Olutayo. You're welcome on board. Put on your life jacket. Let's go on this voyage together.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
It's Nimasa this week, and if you're just joining us, you're right on time. Some time ago on this program, we brought you a report that the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, approved a nationwide distribution of life jackets to the riverine and coastal communities. In a bold step towards ending recurring boat fatalities on Nigerian waterways, the Honorable Minister recently received the report from the Special Committee on the Prevention of Boat Mishaps in Nigeria. Stay with us as we bring you the full report of the event.
In efforts aimed at reducing accidents and fatalities on Nigeria's waterways, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, has received the report of the Special Committee on the Prevention of Boat Mishaps in Nigeria. This was disclosed by Dr. Bolaji, Special Advisor, Media and Communications to the Honorable Minister. Reacting to the report, the Minister described the frequency of boat mishaps as unacceptable and preventable and announced the federal government's plan to implement sweeping reforms to improve maritime safety nationwide. He emphasized the shared responsibility of operators and commuters in ensuring safety, particularly through consistent use of life jackets, and revealed plans to phase out unsafe, rickety boats in favor of safer modern alternatives.
I commend the committee for its diligence in carrying out this assignment. I understand the work involves a careful review of relevant data and operational realities. The quality of the findings reflect the seriousness with which you approach this task. This report will serve as a foundation for immediate and long-term reforms. We will study the recommendations closely and act where policy adjustment or institutional coordination are required. In line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola and Tinubu GCFR, safety on our waterways remains a top priority. I thank the chairman and members of the committee for your service and commitment to the nation.
Presenting the detailed report, Committee Chairman and Managing Director of the National Inland Waterways Authority, Bola Oyebamiji, outlined the findings and the structure of the report, while appreciating the Minister's support and commending members for their dedication.
It was important to mention that a total 64 recommendations were separately presented by the 4 technical subcommittees. Of these 64, 17 recommendations were presented in the chapters for clarity, chief among which are 1. That the federal government may consider the establishment of a coastal guard for the enforcement of extant rules and regulations on the inland waterways. And this is seriously underlined. 2. Establish a national policy on design and types of boats permitted on Nigerian inland waterways and on coastal waters. 3. Institute uniform standard of competence, qualification, certification in the formal training program of boat operators at accredited institutions and organizations. 4. Increase funding for newer hydrographic and marine engineering activities to enhance safety interventions. And 5. Establish a well-equipped search and rescue stations at strategic locations along the national inland waterways. Sir, in conclusion, on behalf of the members of this committee, I would like to appreciate the Honorable Minister for your trust and support while this assignment lasted.
The 16-member Special Committee, inaugurated on 27 February 2025, was tasked with a comprehensive review of commercial boat operations, identifying causes of mishaps, and recommending sustainable solutions. Of the 64 recommendations reviewed by 4 technical subcommittees, 17 key proposals were highlighted. These include establishing a coastal guard to enforce waterway safety laws, creating a national boat design policy to standardize vessel types, and introducing mandatory certification and formal training for boat operators, among others.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
Welcome back on the program. For our new viewers and lovers of this maritime show, we value your viewership. Moving on. The newly inaugurated board of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, has been actively engaging in various initiatives to boost the maritime industry. As part of their activities, the board just concluded a 5-day visit to Nimasa facilities. Stay with us, I'll be right back.
The agency's newly inaugurated governing board has carried out an inspection tour of key Nimasa facilities in Lagos State. During the visit, the chairman, Honorable Yusuf Hamisu Abubakar, expressed the board's readiness to support executive management in achieving its broad goals for the maritime sector. Facilities inspected included the C4I Center, the Regional Maritime Coordination Center, the Marine Environment Management Laboratory, the library, and the multipurpose hall, all located at the Nigerian Maritime Resource Development Center, Kirikiri. Concluding the tour, which had the Nimasa executive management in attendance, Honorable Abubakar thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for the opportunity to serve. He reaffirmed the board's commitment to the Renewed Hope agenda and highlighted the performance bond signed between the agency and the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy as a key benchmark for assessing the current administration. Also speaking, Nimasa Director General Dr. Dayo Mobiriola welcomed the board and assured them of executive management's readiness to work closely in driving the agency's mandate.
face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
The Deep Blue Project is an initiative of the Federal Ministry of Transportation and the Federal Ministry of Defense, which is being implemented by Nimasa, with personnel drawn from the Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police, Department of State Services, and other security agencies.
The venue was the Navy town in Ojo, and the event was the capability demonstration by the Intervention Force of the Maritime Security Unit. Dignitaries present witnessed absolute professionalism as a simulation of piracy attack and effective repelling by the Deep Blue team. The demonstration featured Special Mission Vehicle DB Abuja and DB Lagos, fast interceptor boats, and Special Mission helicopters, showcasing various tactics such as boat formation, vessel boarding, and overtake with the interceptor boats. Scenario simulated how the interceptor boats came with Special Intervention Force operatives to liberate the attacked vessel. The helicopters were used to drop the Special Forces onto the vessel under attack. This is casualty evacuation, as the team is well equipped for all scenarios. At last, the hostage takers were repelled and apprehended, with SIF men boarding from all sides, including from the air. The Deep Blue Task Group has keyed into the existing maritime security architecture to ensure that identified gaps along the Nigerian maritime coastline are closed from Badagry to Calabar.
Extremely You surpassed my imagination.
Still on the program, Nimasa this week. I told you at the last edition that our episode wouldn't be complete without the Nautical chat segment. That's simply because our stakeholders are an integral part of the program. So on Nimasa this week, for this segment, we have our guest seated pretty in the studio already. Hajiya Bola Muse, CEO, Bomarah Group. Over to you, Femi, for the interview.
Women has continued to play a very important role in the Nigerian maritime sector. And in this edition of the Nautical Chat of Nimasa this week, I'll be speaking one of the leading voice of women in the maritime industry in Nigeria. And the person is Hajiya Bola Muse. She is a former president of WIMA Africa, the Nigeria chapter. And currently she's the CEO of Bomarah Group, Nigeria. Ma, it's nice meeting you, ma.
Thank you. Nice having me here.
Thank you, ma. So now, as a leading voice for men in maritime in Nigeria space, how would you assess the current level of female participation in the sector, and what more can be done to empower women for leadership roles in Nigeria maritime industry?
The assessment of women leading in the maritime industry is currently low, and I believe that by the coming in of new era of most of these agencies that we nearly having now, there is going to be a room for improvement. And how the women can come in for the improvement is by having more mentorship, training, advocacy. And we have some women now that is leading on. We have like Princess Astrop. Yes. She is part of the women that most of us looking up to. Chief Mrs. Ezenwa, she is into mentorship. She train, mentor women, and carry on most of these women I know. And I believe that with this, if you have more of these leaders in the maritime sector, the participation of women will be more in the sector.
All right, thank you very much. While we were talking, you talked about Vicky Hastrop and the likes of them. I'm sure the women in the industry also looks up to Hajiya Bola Muse, because you're a former president and a very, very loud voice in the maritime industry. Yeah. And so also thank you for your contribution in the industry. You. Now, as a former WIMA president, Africa, you talked about sensitization, capacity development for women. What has WIMA done so far?
In WIMA Africa, when we came on board, when we established the Women Africa, the motive is to build the women capacity in the maritime sector. And what we did is that we carry a lot of all the women in various organizations, especially, not only in the maritime. I'm a member of Nigerian Association of Nigerian Custom License Agents, which we have been practicing for 30 years. And I have few of the women in the industry in our association then. So what I did is that I have to lend my voice to other women to make sure that, okay, it's not, we believe that being a clearing agent is a man's word. That is the slogan. Okay. But to me, I do not believe it's a man's word. It's woman's word. in as much as you can read and write and you know your onions, you will excel in any professional you put yourself. So being a past president of WIMA, and when I was during my tenure, I make sure that a lot of women, I registered them and I brought them on board. We were working together and we allow them, we make them to see the reason why you have to contribute your quota to the industry as a go. And that is when we were able to partner with not only the women, we partner with WISTA, WILAT, and any other organization that we feel that can benefit the members. And that is it. And today, and I think by the time I came in, we were like almost 25 members. But when I left, we were 120 women, which I believe they are still growing.
Now, going straight to still back to women and WISTA and all the bodies in the the women industry. Now, there's a point of collaboration.
Yeah.
Now you need to collaborate with some other partners. Who are the people you are collaborating with? Of course, there's Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. You have Nimasa. You have NPA. How have you collaborated with these people to be able to lend your voice in the industry?
Okay, when you look at the WIMA, we are a maritime sector group that we have no choice than to collaborate and be under the umbrella of the blue economy. We were there when the setting up of the blue economy was inspection, and we were working with it. And Nimasa has been there for us before, because every time that maybe we're in need of assistance, we have one issue or the other, Nimasa had been there, both with NPA. So we are working together. And if there is any other issues, I think they are coming up with it for us.
Okay, thank you, man. Now you talked about you being together with the, with the industry, of course, also supported the formation of the new Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy by Mr. President, right? So now, in your assessments, what do you think about this Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy? How has it affected the industry?
It's a newly created sector that we believe that as time goes on, things will take shape the way it is now. And the assessment, when we want to talk about giving assessment for now, as far as we are concerned, we are still looking and watching and see what things is going to take place. But I believe that with the group, especially WIMA, we are in collaboration with them, and we are talking terms with them in essence of building capacity, training of our women, and lend our voice to most of the gray area that we really want them to assist us.
All right, thank you very much, Manal. Thank you, my viewers, for joining us on this segment of the Nautical Chat of Nimasa this week. This is the first edition of this interview. Join me next week for the continuation of the interview. Thank you.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
That's all we have for you on the program today. Thanks for watching. But before I drop anchor, let me leave you with this. Let's support the Nigerian government to eliminate both mishaps on our waters. Did I hear you ask how? It starts with you and I. Make sure you wear your life jacket whenever you are on board any watercraft. And if you see an overloaded craft, please don't board it. Until we meet again on the same platform, same station next week, bye for now.